I work all night, I work all day to pay the bills I have to pay. That's too sad. And still there never seems to be enough money left for me. That's too bad. So in my dreams, I have a plan. Down, down, down. I'll walk down to my game shop. Down, down, down. And oh no, I can't because they're closed because the sales suck. Bam, 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 bam. And it's all Wizards of the Coast's fault. What's up, nerds? It's your boy. At 8:25 in the morning of this, the 29th day of March, 2024. And it is cold and gloomy and foggy and dark and sad this Friday, the last Friday of March. Man, this month went by fast. But opening day was last night, so yeah. Not that there were any good games, but still, I think the Angels won something. I don't know. I'm not an Angels guy. Anyways, this was the only story really so far today, and I guess I gotta take a look at it because it does affect friendly local game stores, of which I'm a huge proponent, and it does reflect the general decline of the industry from where we were even 3 months ago, and it does open up the door to the very many questions that are approaching the industry with whatever's happening in September with D&D, and is D&D 2024 dead on arrival, based upon a lot of speculation, based upon sales, based upon Chris Perkins' rather enigmatic post the other day, based on just sort of the feeling in general, and then these numbers show up and you're like, is it dead on arrival? Is there any way to pull out of this spiral? I mean, not that ICV, numbers really matter. But yeah, so let's look at sales. All right, from this time last year, it can be said that it's been a tough year for the hobby, between, of course, the OGL devastation, pandemic, just the economy being really, really bad, inflation going up. The industry has only seen like a 2% increase from 2022 to 2023, and yet direct sales and at game stores are down 33% from where they were last year. Even though D&D is still doing number one in sales, it's 30% less in sales from where it was last year. From December till now, Wizards has reported a $1 billion loss, $1 billion loss in 3 months. That's unheard of. And now we're going into the beginning of Q1. We should be seeing the Q1 numbers pretty soon from Hasbro, if they're not up already. And we're not expecting them to be good. We're not expecting sales to be good. We're expecting pretty much numbers to be down. But plus, we're finally seeing the effects of selling E1, and of course the utter financial disaster what the movie was, and just generally, Wizards has a bad year going into 2024 D&D. So yes, even though D&D doesn't say which edition D&D, it just says D&D. I'm assuming it means 5. But they are seeing a decline in sales. They are seeing players migrating to other games like Pathfinder. So yeah, Pathfinder is number two in sales. Cyberpunk Red, number 3 in sales. World of Darkness, number 4. Starfinder, number 5. Warhammer, number 6. Marvel, number 7. That's weird. Kobold books are selling well, probably because of the announcement of Tales of the Valiant. Call of Cthulhu, of course, always in the top 10. And Pirate Borg of all things. That's weird too. Of course, this Call of Cthulhu numbers are, because it's the number 1 game in Asia, but this is just covering American sales. So yeah, the only thing that's really showing an upswing is toys, collectibles, and miniatures. All the other categories, board games, card games, role-playing games, went down. 30% decline for Dungeons and Dragons, with the lackluster movie performance, the pandemic fueled stuff, and of course the OGL crisis. And now, they're saying, well, the new edition is coming out and it could, change everything, or it could change nothing. And we're really just not handling it well. And people are just like, I don't know what to do. It's not great for me. It's not a great time to be a friendly local game store. But of course, we do have this rumor, this statement from Wizards that makes no sense, that friendly local game stores, mom and pop game stores, brick and mortar game stores like the ones mentioned in this article will receive the upcoming D&D products before the big box. So mom and pop game store, North Coast Role Playing, Cess Games and Anime, Game Ogre, Game Mechanic, we're going to get the next book, the Vecna book, before Target gets the Vecna book, before Amazon gets the Vecna book, before Barnes & Noble get the Get book. Around the table, North Coast Role Playing, Sterling Comics are going to get the 2024 Player's Handbook before Amazon gets the 2024 Player's Handbook, before Target gets it, before Barnes & Noble gets it, before any of the big box around the world get it. Joe's Games in Podunk, Illinois is going to get it first? You really expect us to believe that? You really expect us to think that you're going to give the players' handbooks first to Susan's Game Emporium in the middle of nowhere, Nevada, before you give it to Target in Nevada? Before you give it to Amazon, before you give it to Barnes & Nobles, before you give it to Big Box? You expect us to believe that it's going to go to the mom and pop stores first? The mom and pop stores showing a 30% decline in sales because of how well you're mishandling them? I don't believe it. I think they're saying that's going to happen. They're saying they're coming to mom and pop and saying, don't worry, you'll get Player's Handbook 2024 before Target. But then when that day rolls up that they're supposed to get it, there's going to be Wizards going, oh, printing delay. Oh, shipping delay. Oh, we found AI art, so we have to change it. And then it's going to be, oh, well, no, Target has it. And then they were going to go, but you said we'd get it first. And Wizards will go, I know we said you'd get it first. And we really, really tried to get it to you first. I mean, but things happen, and now the time. It's a Target now. I know. There's just no way they're going to give it to mom and pop stores first, especially if the stores are showing 30% declines. And you would think that they would be breaking even because people are leaving their houses again. They're going back to stores. They're going back to the markets. They're going back to Target. They're picking things off the shelves. But if you've been into a game store, a mom and pop game store recently, you will see stacks of unsold games that are just sitting there. Year-old, 2-year-old, 3-year-old games. You see the games that are just being moved in bulk over to second-round retail stores like Ollie's. I mean, it's that's been one of the big stories for 2024 is all these, these big second-run 99-cent stores like Ollie's, which we don't have here in California as far as I know. At least I've never seen one. I'd love to go pick up some of the markdown action figures. Are getting these stuff, the older stuff in bulk because they're not moving, and game stores are saying, are closing and giving this stuff back to Diamond, or just can't afford to get it from Diamond because their people aren't coming in to buy D&D anymore. They're coming in to play and buy other games because D&D just feels so icky to them, right? I mean, well, Pathfinder and Cyberpunk and these older editions of D&D are just always much more inviting, but they don't sell. I mean, I don't make any money at George's Game Shop for selling a used copy of the 4th edition Player's Handbook for $11 that I bought used for $4. The only profit I'm making are off of the dice, the action figures, the collectibles, the miniatures. My other profit is going out the window because Wizards charges me so much to carry Magic the Gathering and D&D as opposed to the other companies. And I have to buy X amount of Magic even to get the D&D stuff in the store. And Wizards is, of course, charging me an arm and a leg if I order it directly from them. And if I order it indirectly, like from Diamond or Alliance, I'm still paying way above what Target's paying. and it's not moving. 30% drop. But now, so yeah. And then, well, it's awesome to see games like Pathfinder and Cyberpunk and other games be second and third. We know financially that gap is still huge because it's still money out of my pocket here over at Crazy Susan's Game Emporium to get the D&D stuff in, and then it doesn't move, and then I have to give it back, or it goes into second round retail at Ollie's, and then now Wizards is saying, don't worry, you're going to get it way before Target gets it. And they're like, no, you're not. No, we're not. No, we're not. There'll be a distribution error or something. So yeah, not great news for mom and pop game stores. Not great news for online stores. Just not great news for physical product. And is 2024 D&D dead on arrival? Will it hit the shelves and just sit there gathering dust because people are just so weary, if assuming it even comes out when they claim it's coming out, and they can avoid any media disasters like, oh, oops, AI art, how did we miss it? It's the joy and excitement of a new edition of Dungeons and Dragons is heavily overshadowed by just sort of this subconscious fear we have now of what Wizards of the Coast is going to do next with their 4-second memory. Sure, they're saying things, but does anything they say now mean anything? It's just words. We know we can't trust them. We know we can't trust them to stick to their word about, oh, you'll get it first. We know we can't trust them to stick to their word about these are the last books you'll need. I mean, look, Chris Perkins pretty much just said so with his weird statement about, the classes. Is that, yeah, there's going to be more books. I know we said we weren't going to make more books, but I just pretty much said we are going to make more books. So to use the metaphor I used before, we're standing in the middle of the road, and these lights that are coming for us are Wizards of the Coast, but they're just sitting there, and we don't know what to do. Do we move forward with excitement? Do we stay where we are? Do we go backwards? What do? We don't know what the car is going to do. And meanwhile, the car could come forward. It could go backwards. It could swerve to the side. Fuck, it's Wizards of the Coast. The car could get up and start dancing. We don't know. So there is this, Wizards of the Coast shills are going to deny this, but I think generally from an industry point of view, from a sales point of view, from a fan point of view, even hardcore 5e fans are looking at this with trepidation, and this is showing in the decline in sales. I don't want to buy this game until I know what's going to happen with 2024 D&D. I don't want to invest in these games with so many changes coming out. I don't want to plock down $100 for a game when I can block down $20 for a game and get as good or better. So that's I think why we're seeing this. Now, will these change after con season? Probably. Will they change a lot? I don't know. I mean, I don't want to see friendly local game stores die, but, it is a horrible time to be an owner of a friendly local game store. But we'll see what happens in September when the game comes out and when Hasbro releases their Q1 numbers, which should be pretty soon if they're not up already. Anyways, that's it. What a great way to start the day. Dark, gloomy day with dark, gloomy news for your friendly local game store. Please like, please share, please subscribe. Don't forget to hit that notification button so the algorithm reminds you to check out all my new stuff. If you haven't had a chance to walk on over to Lulu yet and pick up Wretched Vigilantes Supermax or Wretched Bestiary, both by yours truly, they are now available on Lulu for print, POD. Print on demand, POD. Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. So why pay $100 for D&D when you can pay $30 for my shit, which is better? Anyways, that's it. Drive carefully. It's raining, and we'll be back later. I appreciate each